Hello, everybody. I am Zara Mahoon, and I am thrilled to be here. Carol, thank you so much for allowing me to participate in Girls United by Love. I basically have completely changed my life by learning to love myself, by improving my self worth. And today, I can speak in front of an audience of literally thousands of people confidently. Today, I can look in the mirror and like who I see. Today, I can walk into a room and be able to walk up to everyone in that room and say hello, whether or not I know them. Today, I can be alone and be completely happy. Today, I don't need anyone to behave in a certain way in order to make me happy. And all of that has happened in my life because of the law of attraction. You see, what law of attraction really is that it is a combination of science, spirituality, and psychology. And putting these three powerful, each one of these is a powerful subject all on its own. But when you put them all together, ooh, now you are really powerful. Now you have a template for how the world works. Long ago, I had things happen in my life that left me completely shattered. I still remember that day when my husband at that time had me by the throat and he was squeezing and I couldn't breathe and the whole world was spinning. And I really, at that moment, was thinking, okay, this is the end. Thank God that I was saved by someone who walked into the room. But I started after that asking this question: why me? What did I do to deserve this? Why was this happening to me? I was a good little girl. I didn't bother anyone. I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. I did whatever my parents told me to. I was good at school. I was good at work. I was good to everyone. So it didn't compute in my mind. Why was this happening to me? Was there really a God up there? Because I couldn't understand, if I am observing all the rules that I've been told to observe, why is anything bad happening to me? So, long story short, I ran away from that marriage. I escaped. I was 2 months pregnant. I gave birth to my baby girl prematurely. And then I started to put the pieces of my life together. And I can tell you that I kept asking the question, why me, over and over and over again. I couldn't understand why other people were lying and cheating and people were having affairs and, and the question was, why aren't they being punished? They're happy, they're having amazing lives, they have money, they have freedom, they have good clothes, they have good cars, and I'm struggling. Why? So law of attraction gave me the answer to all these things. Basically, what I discovered was that law of attraction is God's system for granting wishes. And it is scientific, it is exact, it works the same way for everyone. And I learned that the only reason all these bad things were happening in my life was because of one big reason. And that reason was I was always afraid. I was afraid. And fear is a very negative vibration. Fear is so negative, and fear is like a magnet. It brings you things that are going to magnify your fear. I was afraid of being in an arranged marriage that my parents had fixed up for me. I was so afraid that my marriage would end up being like my parents' marriage. They were always fighting, and my mother never really loved my father. At least I couldn't see it. So I was always living in fear. And even as a child, I was living in fear. I was living with the fear that my parents would break up, that they would get divorced because they were fighting so much. I was afraid that one of them would walk out one day and never come back. I was afraid that they were so angry that they would hurt each other. I was afraid that I wouldn't have a place to go, that I would be all alone. So I was living my life in fear. And then I was afraid of stepping out of line with what God, whatever, I was taught about God and religion. I was afraid of stepping out of line. I was afraid of not being a good little girl. I was afraid of not doing well at school. I was afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid people wouldn't like me the way I was. I was afraid that I was too short. I was afraid that I was ugly. I was afraid that I was hairy. I was afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid of everything. And that fear grew in momentum like a dust bunny grows by attracting all the hair and dust in our homes. It grew and it grew and it grew. And I did not know it was growing, just like the dust bunny behind your couch. You don't know it's growing. And then it became so big and attracted so many things into it that it exploded. And so today I want to share with you why understanding law of attraction is so important. Because we have this tendency of thinking that everything, if something good happens, it's a coincidence. It's about luck. And if something bad happens, maybe it's karma. Maybe it was meant to happen. And I'm here to tell you that nothing bad ever has to happen to you if you start understanding the rules upon which the universe has been constructed. We were meant to be happy. We were born happy. We were born to be free. We were born to live every single day with love and peace and joy and success. And so I'm going to tell you a couple of things that are in this book, this workbook that I created. It's called the Unlimited Workbook. It's a 40-day law of attraction workbook that teaches you how to use law of attraction really powerfully. And accompanying the workbook is a Facebook group where there is a full free video course on law of attraction, plus 1,000 other videos that I've posted over the past so many years since the workbook was written, which was way back in 2015. So there is a lot of material in that group that if you are really interested in going deeper into law of attraction, joining the group is free. All you have to do is to get a copy of the workbook, and the instructions on what to do after you have your workbook are inside the workbook. All right, so the very first chapter of this book is about understanding the law of attraction, and there are 16 pillars or principles that form part of understanding law of attraction. And my objective here today is to take you over these 16 principles in short form. I'm not going to go really deep, but I am going to give you all 16 of them. And then hopefully, I'm hoping, my intention is that that's going to give you a fundamental understanding of how manifesting works. Because law of attraction is about manifesting every single thing that you desire. The very first principle is the law of attraction is always working and it applies to everything in our life. It is like gravity. Like gravity is always working. You don't take gravity off and put it in the drawer and shut it away. It is always working. In the same way, law of attraction is a law, which means that it is consistent and it is always working. Point number 2, law of attraction is consistent. And that's the really important thing to understand. I did not understand that. I thought that my life was unfair. God was being unfair to me. Universe was being unfair to me. Until I discovered that I wasn't trusting. You see, where there is fear, there's an absence of trust. When we trust, then we have nothing to be afraid of. And I was constantly afraid. So law of attraction will always respond with bad things to the vibration of fear. We've got to generate the vibration of confidence, love, and joy first, and then good things enter our lives. Point number 3, whether we think about things we want or things we want to change, we attract both. Oh my goodness, this was so big for me in my life. I did not know this. So law of attraction brings us what we spend time thinking about. So if we spend more time thinking about the absence of something in our lives compared to the having of it, law of attraction will bring us the absence of it. That is the biggest secret. That is what people don't really understand. And if you got it, you are more powerful than thousands. All right, next one, number 4, we can take control and change things very quickly. Number 5, our beliefs form the framework of possibilities in our life. Only those things can happen that we believe are possible. This is why working on your beliefs, having positive, empowering beliefs is so very important. Number 6, we can only control our own outcomes. We cannot create for anyone else, regardless of who they are and how much we care about them. Every man goes into his or her own grave. We cannot create for anyone else. Number 7, our life gives us evidence of how good a job we are doing in thinking on purpose. Thinking on purpose means thinking in accordance with the law of attraction so that we can manifest what we want. So if bad things are happening in your life, that is a signal that you're not doing a good job of thinking. When good things are happening, that tells you that you're doing a very good job of thinking. Number 8, wanting positive results and thinking positively are two different things. We all want positive results, but many of us don't know how to think positively. Thinking positively is about thinking in a way that doesn't limit you. And I have a whole process, there's a whole course that if you're interested, you can find information about it on my website. It's called the Heart and Mind Alignment Method. And the Heart and Mind Alignment Method is a process that you follow from start to finish that helps you to find negative beliefs and then turn them around using a proprietary process that I've created. Number 8, when we change the way we think, our life changes. Therefore, we have complete control over our life. And thank God I understood this because now I do have control. I did not have control before, but I do now. Number 10, many times we think on autopilot, meaning that we are not consciously aware of what we are thinking, and therefore we create by default rather than create deliberately. Number 11, our emotions are our guidance system. When you think When you feel bad, that doesn't mean that the thing you are thinking about is bad for you. What it means is that you're not thinking thoughts in a way that will help you achieve the thing that you want. Jealousy, anger, guilt, blame, depression, powerlessness, all of those negative emotions, I've been there. And those emotions will just bring you more bad stuff. Number 12, we never, ever, ever, ever have to go back into our past in order to make the future better. We can start from wherever we are and forge ahead. Number 13, we can have, be, or do anything we want. All things are possible. It's our self-talk that closes the doors. If we didn't close the door, all things would be possible and would come easily into our lives. Number 14, thinking patterns are addictive in the sense that they are habitual. The way you were thinking yesterday is the way you are thinking today, unless you do something to change it. This is why almost 60% of our thoughts on a daily basis are repetitive. We tend to think the same thoughts over and over again. In the beginning, we have to learn how to change our thoughts. Number 15, in order to understand how the law of attraction works, we must step away from the cause and effect relationship in the physical world, because the world of vibration is, you can't touch it, feel it, see it, hear it. You can only feel it. And in that world, things happen vibrationally. And when you start understanding vibration, you understand that everything is connected. So your thoughts about one subject affect all the subjects of your life. Number 16, using the law of attraction is all about becoming more conscious of how we think and the feedback we get from our emotions and our manifestations about how to change our thoughts and therefore our outcomes. The reality of our lives is an indication of how we have been thinking in the past. And that is it. Those are the 16 principles right here in this workbook. And there is a course that I created some time back called the 16 Fundamental Principles of Manifesting, which goes really, really deep into these 16 principles that I just shared with you. So if you're curious, I'm going to invite you to visit my website, zmahoon.com. That's my first initial, Z, and my last name, Mahoon, Mahoon, zmahoon.com. I am also the author of 18 books. So this is just one of my books. I have written 18 books. One of the books that I would love for you to grab and read if you have the time and if you feel inclined, it is called Manifesting Mistakes. And it has in it 15 mistakes that I made in using the 16 principles that caused me a lot of anguish. And I want to prevent other people from having to go through that same anguish. Also, on my YouTube channel, which is called Unlimited Mind, Unlimited Life, I answer questions from people. So if you have a question about how to use the law of attraction, send me an email through my website, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. If you want to sign up for a complimentary assessment about how you're doing in using law of attraction, feel free to send me a message and we'll set that up. Thank you again for being here, joining me today. Love you all lots. I am excited about your success. I'm excited of all the change that is coming your way. And I really want to thank Carol Brown for holding this space and allowing all of us to share what we have learned so that we can help you improve your lives. Take care, folks. Bye for now.